what would be a nice, slow get-out day before the 4th of July weekend is anything but. Because on July 1st at 6:16, Mike Gansey, in Mike Gansey we trust, he completely turned the entire Sixers organization with a 180, the fan base back on board with a blockbuster trade nobody saw coming. Somehow, Mike Gansey is able to trade Paul George and his monster contract to the Boston Celtics for a 29-year-old superstar in Jaylen Brown. We get off the air at 6. I'm driving home, trying to get the kids to take them to the Phillies game. Around 6:15, we get a text from Silvana Kelleher to the group chat. Jaylen Brown, oh, my God. And I'm thinking, what's she talking about? Where'd Jaylen Brown get traded to? Then I see that it's the Sixers. I'm like, this has to be a fake account. This can't be Sham's real account. Oh, no, Ricky Bo. It is true. Jaylen Brown, the newest 76er.
This is awesome. This is really awesome. I mean, let's face it. We all know Jaylen Brown and what he accomplished in the NBA so far. But to add him to VJ and Maxey, I think that's incredible. I think, number one, the first thing I thought to myself was that, you know what? If Embiid is out, they're going to win games. They could still win games. This is a fantastic move. I think I'm more happy that George isn't here. Well, I mean, you could say what you want.
Yeah.
What did we get from Paul George?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I agree with you. But we would have probably been happy if they just got out from under the Paul George contract. Not only do they do that, you bring back one of the top 10 to 15 players in the NBA.
You added a star. Is this even about the players? Or is this about Gansey?
Man, I'm still blown away by it. Like, it was the city shocking. Is buzzing already.
It was shocking, to say the least. There is no way that I was in my car, Sil sends us a text, pops up on my car, and I'm like, this got to be like Shams Jarnia or something putting it out.
Yeah, the fake account.
I was like, what?
The same thing.
I thought it was definitely fake. When you sent it, so like, you know, I literally pulled into the Wawa parking lot, looked on my phone. I'm like, oh, my God, this is actually real. And I love it because I have a lot of friends back in Connecticut that are Celtics fans. You could all KMA. You could all take Paul George and enjoy him. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, and Boston is handling it very well. We're going to play some fan reaction, some analyst reaction coming up from Boston. We'll actually be joined by one of the members from our sister station, Mark Bertrand. Bertrand.
There you go.
Yeah, it's Bertrand. I'm so excited I can't even say his name.
You're introducing somebody onto our show that's at our sister station in Boston.
Oh, look at you now.
And you just completely demolished.
Butchered it. If he's listening, he's probably not calling in. He's the midday show host for 98.5 Sports Hub in Boston. He'll be joining us in the 4 o'clock hour. But I want to hear from Sixers fans today because this is a day to celebrate. The 76ers that all of us were concerned were just running it back. And we thought, all right, they'll probably win some games. They'll probably be a playoff team. They're not going to get out of the second round next year. We had all just accepted we got to wait out these contracts. They're going to have to wait 2 years for PG. They'll have to wait 3 years for Joel. And we're in purgatory. With one move yesterday, Mike Gansey, Bob Myers, whoever's calling the shots down there, I don't care, completely flipped the franchise upside down. No longer are we in purgatory. We're sitting here with a legitimate shot to compete next year with one move.
I want you to think back to yesterday. We were talking about this team saying we're disinterested. Now all of a sudden we're very interested. That's all it took. You needed one flip of the coin. And that, what did we say? This team cannot do anything if they have Joel Embiid and Paul George still on this team. And what is the one thing that you needed to happen? Boom, there goes Paul George. All of a sudden, you're like, wait a minute, what? Brown is coming here? There's no way. Ends up it's true. You have to wonder what this offense is going to look like. There's going to be some running and gunning going, boys.
It really, I am at a loss for words when I think about all of us would have signed up for just getting out from under the PG contract. And the fact that you're able to not only get out from that, you turn it around for a 29-year-old superstar, still in the prime of his career, under contract for 3 more seasons. And guess what? You think Jaylen Brown's going to have a chip on his shoulder? You think Jaylen Brown's going to be motivated with Boston saying, not only do we not want you, We don't care where we send you. We're sending you to our rival interdivision, interconference 76ers. Jaylen Brown is going to be as fired up as it can be come next season, and it's going to be must-watch TV. The Sixers have now become, none of us are going to be, wake us up in the postseason. We're going to be, wake us up for game one. We're ready.
I told you, the one thing that really sticks out to me is that you add a star. You already have Tyrese Maxey. You have VJ Edgecombe, who is an upcoming star. You add Jaylen Brown. You have Embiid sometimes. But my biggest key is those games where Embiid is out now. Are you thinking they lose those games, or are you thinking they could win every game now?
Yeah, just with...
Do you see what has happened? Do you see the shift that has happened this quickly? And maybe LeBron James on the border?
Oh, hold the thought on LeBron.
Oh,
we
yeah,
can't handle it,
baby.
I can't handle that much excitement. We'll get to LeBron coming up. I need to just keep reacting to Jaylen Brown for a second.
You know what? I don't know if you want to talk about this now, but my thoughts about like what has to happen now as a whole for this team. And the one thing that I look at what this trade does is obviously you add star power, but you know. Well, because we know in years past that Embiid has missed a lot of games. True? True, right? So, do those other four, and this is like a complicated question because it kind of sticks to me. Do those other four play the game as they will? And then Embiid has to now adapt to them. Would that be your new theory?
I think you're spot on with that. I think Mike Gansey has come in here and with Bob Myers above him, and they've made the decision, this isn't Joel Embiid's team anymore in the sense that everything's going to revolve around Joel Embiid. He's going to have to adjust his game to fit Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe. And I think that's the one thing that'll be questioned as we get closer and closer to the regular season. How do all the pieces fit together? But for the first time now, you do have a legitimate player in Jaylen Brown that if Embiid's not playing, you know Jaylen Brown can still win you the damn game.
Yeah.
He has the ability. I mean, look what he did in Boston last year, which was supposed to be a step-back year. Jason Tatum out for the season, we thought. Jaylen Brown is what carried that team to be a number 2 finish in the Eastern Conference. Tatum did come back, but make no mistake, Jaylen Brown carried that team to the postseason.
This feels like something, the switch has flipped. I don't know. You changed the president of the basketball operations. I don't know if that was it. But why do I feel like somebody knows what they're doing now? Why do I feel like things are going to change within the Sixers organization? Why do I feel like I could smell?
Get excited.
Do you smell it?
What do you smell?
I smell a championship.
You smell the finals?
I smell the finals.
Woo!
Actually, let's just say I smell out of the second round.
Let's hope, man. I want to hear what Sixers fans are smelling today.
Before we go on, if you are listening in the car, when you get home, don't be afraid to flip on to YouTube now.
Yeah, we are not on TV until after the Phillies game, so we are live on YouTube. I know my old YouTube peeps that when I used to do middays had always asked, when's Unfiltered going to be on YouTube? We are live on YouTube right now. I see them all in the chat. We love you. I miss you.
It's interesting you say that because there's a lot of hate for you in here.
Oh, it's all in fun, Ricky Bo. It's all in fun today.
Actually, there's not. I just felt like stirring the pot.
No, it's, listen, today is a day to celebrate.
Looks like I got no hair whatsoever on this.
Yeah, bad lighting. Bad lighting. You got a nice lush.
No, I
hair.
actually don't. There's not much up there, but I just got it cut today. I took off everything.
No, you look good. You look good. But really, today is a day. I mean, we're the Thursday before for 4th of July weekend. Ricky and I aren't even here tomorrow because of the holiday. And we get this news.
But still is.
Still will be here reacting. But we get this news last night, and it is a day to celebrate at the possibilities of what the 2026-2027 Sixers season can be. A season that we had all written off as, here we go again. No. They've completely turned it on its head. And I'm listening to, I couldn't get enough last night, just consuming all the national analysts weighing in on this trade. And you hear Kendrick Perkins on ESPN talking about how Brad Stevens, who makes the decisions in Boston, just handed the Sixers the keys to the NBA Finals. Listen to this.
First of all, this is a sad day for the Boston Celtics. And as a former Celtic, I do not approve of this trade. If you're going to trade a guy that's a top 10 player, you at least got to get back a guy that's a top 15, top 20 player. And Paul George is not that. Paul George hasn't been consistently good since I was skinny. And that's been a long damn time. When you talk about Jaylen Brown, your former finals MVP, conference finals MVP, NBA champion, coming off his best season of his career, statistically, leading this team past, defeating all the odds. They were supposed to be in the tanking mode. This team finished second in the East, and I know things didn't work out like it was supposed to as far as the way that the playoff run ended, but at the end of the day, if you're Brad Stevens, to me, he had already lost when he lost the Giannis sweepstakes to the Miami Heat. If you're going to jump off the porch and you're going to make Jaylen Brown available, you got to make sure you pencil in that deal. This is nothing but sloppy seconds, in my opinion. And in the way I see it, he just basically handed the Philadelphia 76ers a trip to the NBA Finals next year.
What'd he say? What'd he say, Will?
Who just handed them the NBA Finals? Now,
That's what I thought he said.
You still got to play on the court, but as we're sitting here today, why not dream on July 2nd of how good this damn team can be? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm dreaming. But it's still wild, though. Like Mike Gansey, we say in Howie we trust. I'm now in Gansey we trust. Because you not only got rid of Paul George's contract, I know you gave up 2 first-round picks. One of them's not until 2031, and 2 second-round picks, which really don't have that much value in the NBA. And you get Jaylen Brown back. And the craziest part to me, why didn't the Celtics sit around and wait for a better deal? Like, how could you not have gotten a better deal for Jaylen Brown? It does seem like Brad Stevens, I don't know if they were just panicked once the cat was out of the bag that they offered him in the trade for Giannis. I know Jaylen Brown had said some things on his Twitch streams, which we can talk about a little bit later. But it seems like the Celtics could have sat around and waited a little bit because listen to this. Shams Charania, who's been making his rounds all over ESPN, he laid out what their original asking price was. I mean, you look, what did Kawhi just get traded for? Kawhi Leonard, I think, just brought back more, didn't he? So Kawhi Leonard.
Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, an unprotected first-round pick in 2031 and 2033, a 2027 first-round pick swap, and 2 second-round picks. Kawhi Leonard, who's like 50 years old, battling injuries like crazy, got a bigger haul for the L.A. Clippers than what Jaylen Brown, who's only 2 years removed from an NBA Finals MVP, got? It just doesn't make sense to me. And Shams Charania tried to break it down last night. This was the original asking price, apparently, from Boston. Listen to Shams.
Sixers new president, Mike Gansey, reached out to the Celtics, made offers in recent weeks. It's been quite some time where these talks seem to have a level of traction because the Celtics have such a high bar on a deal, right? They were thinking, if you're going to trade us Paul George, we need 4 firsts, 5 firsts. We need a player like a VJ Edgecombe. That was the bar that was set early. So there were other teams around the league that might have stopped conversations or moved on to do other deals, but the Sixers stayed with it, stood around, stayed at the party. They didn't have Irish goodbye. They didn't leave early. They stuck around, and at the end of it, they were the last team standing today. So staying engaged, staying with it, that paid dividends for the Sixers now.
Mike Gansey, you're telling me Brad Stevens said, if you want us to take Paul George, we need 4 or 5 first-round picks, and we want a young player like VJ Edgecombe. And Gansey just said, nope, sat around, waited him out, and you only have to trade 2 firsts, and you get Jaylen Brown?
Kind of turns into brilliance, doesn't it, in a sense that, number one, he knew that he could wait and see. He knew that he didn't have to give up any more than he wanted to. Sounds like somebody who knows exactly what the hell he's doing.
It does sound like he knows what he's doing.
Imagine that.
It's
who is that other guy?
You talk about Daryl Morey?
Oh, that's him. Yeah, that's the one.
Well, Morey, look, he made the trade for James Harden. He's the guy who signed Paul George. And there was excitement for those moves, but not to the level of what you just did. To get a guy
Paul George,
still in
was
the prime,
there that much excitement for that?
There was a lot of excitement.
No, there wasn't.
There was a lot of excitement.
No, there wasn't.
Dude, I was on the air that day with you.
I was not excited.
You and I were on the air. We interviewed Paul George the day he was signed.
I didn't think it was that exciting.
I felt like there were a contingent of fans who maybe weren't as excited because he was older in his career.
Right.
He was
But
34.
Well, you get him in your prime, I would have been doing backflips, right, Sil? Sil knows the backflips would have came
Let's
out.
do our backflips.
Let's do our backflips.
But here's the other difference, too, though. Paul George, as good as he has been in his NBA career, never got over the hump to win a title. Never really had that postseason success. James Harden, when you make the trade for him, very similar. Never got over the hump of winning an NBA title or having that postseason success. Jaylen Brown's been there, man. Jaylen Brown has been to, I think, 6 conference finals. He's won an NBA title. He was an NBA Finals MVP. Like, you were talking a lot, we were talking since Gansey took over about changing the culture. You just brought in a winner, man. You just brought in a guy who is a proven winner who's still only 29. I can't believe it. I'm sitting here, we're talking about it. I feel like I'm going to wake up soon, and it's all going to be a dream.
See, this is different than the George thing. I think George obviously was past his prime when he came to the Sixers. Maybe that's why I wasn't excited. But I also think fleecing the Celtics is better than anything in the world because you know exactly how I feel about Boston sports. I don't like any of them, any of those teams. You name a team, don't like them. Not in Boston, not in Foxborough either. You know what? I'm telling you, I hate them. I hate that city. I hate those teams.
Well, you know what's interesting? The Eagles, 1 month ago to the day yesterday, traded a Brown to Boston. A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown, yeah.
And
so
now,
we got a Brown back.
1 month later.
That's kind of funny. That's a good way. Hey, I didn't think you were actually smart.
A.J. for Jaylen. Now,
but like to me, Jaylen Brown's in the middle of his career.
and I'm telling you, man, he's going to be motivated. He is going to be so damn motivated. Because a lot of people have been asking, like, why was he even available?
Well, that's a little confusing.
I mean, when you really go down the rabbit hole and try to figure this out, it's him and Jason Tatum. I felt like Jaylen Brown didn't love that he was basically considered the Robin to Jason Tatum's Batman. He wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be the number one guy. And there was always this kind of pushback where Tatum was the guy.
Here?
That's the big question. Is he going to be okay? I mean, he comes here. You could make the argument he's your best player already.
I don't have a problem with him being Batman, Maxey being Robin, and Embiid being the Joker.
And where's
no,
VJ?
that's the wrong.
Where's VJ?
No, that's
sliding?
correct. VJ could be whoever he wants.
It's just, dude, it's
Spidey.
I'm still shocked by it. I want to hear from Sixers fans today because I do want to celebrate with Sixers fans today. Like, we don't have a lot to celebrate as Sixers fans over the years. Let's celebrate today for what Mike Gansey and the Sixers just did by making this trade for Jaylen Brown. I want to hear from you today. Pick up your phone and call. I want to talk to Sixers fans. Ricky wants to talk to Sixers fans. Pick up the phone the old-fashioned way, 610-632-0975. And as always, Davis Honda text line's open. Get your voice memos in. We're still going to do We Hear You at 3:45. Best voice messages of the show, but it's the same number across the board, 610-632-0975. Coming up next, do you believe in this Sixers team again? And another interesting question, did Jaylen Brown want out of Boston? Did he ask for a trade? Well, Shams weighed in on that, too, last night. A lot to get to. We're doing Sixers all show long here on Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic. And let me tell you about FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge, because on the world's biggest stage, FanDuel's changing the game. Sometimes your player gets subbed off, and then your bet goes with them. Well, not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, even if your player is subbed out of the game, your bet stays in. That's right. Even if your player leaves the match, your bet will continue with their substitute. So you're in it until the final whistle. Just visit FanDuel.com/local to get started right now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or older, present in Pennsylvania. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Savannah Kelleher with this Fanatic Sports Update. The 76ers have reportedly acquired former Boston Celtic Jaylen Brown in exchange for Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. Tony Jones from The Athletic joined the Fanatic earlier, explaining how this happened.
Something that came together relatively quick because the Celtics just believed that this was the best pack that they were going to get, and they had to accept it. For the Celtics, they had to get Jaylen Brown out of their building.
From the Sports Hub in Boston, Mark Bertrand joins us at 4:25 to talk about the trade. We'll be reacting to the trade all show long. The Flyers extended goaltender Dan Vladar and Tyson Forrester. They signed Carl Grundstrom to a 1-year deal and Noel Achari on a 2-year deal, plus some other smaller deals. The Phillies are closing out their series with the Pirates. This update was brought to you by the Empire State Building. Find out why the reimagined Empire State Building Observatory Deck was voted America's #1 attraction by TripAdvisor travelers. Tickets at empirestatebuilding.com/radio. Open daily, reservations required. I'm Silvana Kelleher on your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night out.
Sixer and Paul George and his massive contract are now in Boston. And we're still trying to figure out how the hell all of this happened less than 24 hours ago. Right when we went off the air, Mike Gansey pulls a rabbit out of his hat. I mean, the crazy thing is...
Actually, that didn't come out of his hat.
What did it come out of? Ace up his sleeve?
I think
he pulled it out of somewhere else.
Out of his donkey.
And the crazy thing is, though, there was not a single rumor that the Sixers were shopping Paul George. There was no...
Now, breaking sports news from 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Simmons to Philadelphia. Just kidding, not that one. Free agent guard Anthony Simmons has agreed to a 2-year, $12.3 million deal with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh my God.
You scared me.
That's not even, look, the hair is standing up because I was getting ready to go wild.
I really thought she meant Ben Simmons. Oh, my God, I thought she meant Ben Simmons.
Oh, that would have gotten really, really
I had
ugly.
to do
really,
it. What are the odds?
Can you imagine going from happiness to that?
No, I could not. Now, look, another Boston guy. He was in Boston to start the year last year, and then he was traded to Chicago, I think, right? Wasn't he with the Bulls at the end of last season? Let me pull up his numbers. You scared the hell out of me. But, yeah, former draft pick of the Trailblazers with Portland for, I think, like 6 or 7 years before he went to Boston for half a season.
Isn't it
and then
Simons?
Chicago. Is it Simons or Simmons?
There's only one out.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah, it's Simons.
All right, so it was what?
Yeah, she scared the hell out of me when she said Simmons. All right, so they get another move. Gansey's not done. I mean, you have to add some depth. Anthony Simons certainly adds some depth to this team. He's a bench piece, so come off the bench. How many years was it for?
2.
A 2-year deal. All right, so look, this is where you got to build now. You make the big move for Jaylen Brown, you got to build on the margins. But, yeah, I think a lot more people are going to want to react to Jaylen Brown than Anthony Simons today. But, hey, if you got strong feelings about the Simons move, we want to hear it. But, look, yesterday when this all happened, I'm trying to figure out, all right, how did we get here? Like, how did it occur that all of a sudden it appears they're selling pennies on the dollar for Jaylen Brown? And it's, all right, well, Jaylen Brown must have just demanded out, and they had no choice.
That's what I was thinking.
Right? Well, Shams Charania, who's the insider for ESPN, he breaks all these stories now. He said last night, Jaylen Brown never once asked for a trade. Listen to this.
For the Celtics, where this had come down to is they tried to trade for Giannis. They offered Jaylen Brown and 2 unprotected first-round picks for Giannis. They missed out. But ever since then, you know what's been interesting? They didn't just stop the conversations there. They continued to have trade talks. And by today, they were actively, full-blown shopping Jaylen Brown around the league, trying to get teams' best offers in. My understanding is Jaylen Brown, throughout all of this, never requested a trade. He never asked out of Boston. This was all the Celtics. We'll learn more. This is obviously a very developing story, but Jaylen Brown is leaving the Boston Celtics. He will now be in Kevin Nagandi's with their 76ers.
Yeah, our man Kevin Nagandi always joins the morning show, local Philadelphia guy from Temple University. But, yeah, so Jaylen Brown never asked for a trade. Now, look, I know he went on his Twitch stream and he said some things that rubbed Boston people the wrong way in terms of the front office, but he never asked for a trade.
Writing kind of on the wall after the fact that he almost gets traded to the Bucks.
Now, here's the thing, and I am no negativity today. I am through the roof excited. But all I kept thinking about last night laying in bed is being on this earth for 42 years. One of the things that I have learned is when things are too good to be true, they usually are, right? When things appear too good to be true, they usually are. And we're sitting here, and universally, every national analyst, every local person is saying the Sixers fleeced the Celtics. The Sixers fleece the Celtics. Celtics get a D for this trade. And I'm thinking, the Celtics aren't a dumb organization. They're a very smart franchise. Brad Stevens is not a dumb guy. He is a smart guy. What don't we know? Like, why would they do this? Because right now, yeah, it feels too good to be true. Is it? Is it too good to be true? What's the next shoe to drop here, Ricky Bo? Are we missing something?
I don't know. I mean, the only thing that I could think of is that maybe he was a tough teammate in Boston. I don't know. But we don't know that, so I wouldn't even kind of put that out there. You just never know what a guy is thinking on a certain team. Maybe he just wore out his welcome. I mean, when you sit on one team for a while, maybe things go stale for you. You ever think about that? Maybe it was just something like that. I know you're saying it's not him, but he had to be involved in this at some way, shape, or form.
I agree with you. Maybe he wore out his welcome, but you still sold pennies on the dollar. Why couldn't you get as much?
Why did you want him out of there for nothing, basically?
Why you could have sat around a little bit, waited. You could have waited to the trade deadline.
And you take a guy on Paul George, who is not exactly a spring chicken.
Yeah, you took that contract back. It just doesn't make sense. Now, look, let's go to the phones.
Does it worry you at all with the physicals?
Well, let's go to the phones because that's exactly what Jim from Maryland wants to talk about. But I want to hear from Sixers fans today. Pick up the phone. We want to talk to you. We want to hear your thoughts on the Jaylen Brown trade. 610-632-0975. Jim from Maryland is scared about the physical, Ricky Bo. You just took the words from him.
This ought to be interesting.
What's up, Jim?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Ricky, Bill, Savannah, I love your show. Great energy. Listen to it every day after work. Here is my concern. I'm worried. You just were talking about it. I'm worried that because Brad Stevens, he's not a dummy, that they showed their hand and they showed what they can give up. What if, with all the flack that they get from the Boston fans, they just come right out and fail the physical of Paul George, and then other teams are saying, well, we see what we could have got and what we could have gave, and that just put an ink stain on the trade. What do you think?
Yeah, see, Jim, look, it's a fear now because of what happened with Max Crosby in the NFL. We're all waiting for them to fail the physical.
When is the physical? Do we have that news yet?
Well, nothing will become official till July 6th.
Right. All right. So they're going to do it, well, probably today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Either today or Monday.
We will not get an announcement from the Sixers or the Celtics until July 6th.
I would think it would have to be today.
I guess you're right. But I don't know. Here's the one thing I would disagree with Jim. He's saying other teams around the league have seen what they could get him for. From what we heard from Shams Charania, they've been shopping him for a couple of weeks now. Every team.
So why didn't anybody else jump in? It is a little concerning.
What don't we know?
Why are we starting this now? Like, now you're making me feel very uneasy about this all of a sudden.
Well, like I said,
you did it. You did it.
When things are too good to be true, I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to say when things are usually, oh, man, that feels like it's too good to be true. It usually is.
Well, it usually is. But, I mean, this is a guy that has been proven to be a really, really solid basketball player, and that's all I care about right now today. That's like
correct.
That's like my instinctual thought for the day. I heard it last night, and I kind of got a little jittery, like, ooh, what is this? This sounds pretty good. And then I started kind of working my way through. Wait a minute. Paul George is gone. He's out of here. You don't even have to worry about that anymore. And then you get a much younger, a 7-year difference in age.
It makes no sense if you're the Boston Celtics, in my opinion. And we'll hear from some Boston fans later if you want to have a good laugh. We got a little montage of Celtics, Celtics fans reaction.
By the way, I did not listen to that on purpose. How bad is it?
I didn't either.
It's pretty good. It's about time where Sixers get the upper hand on Boston. Not only did they come back down 3-1 in the postseason last year, now we get to kind of laugh at them for taking the Paul George.
But you just said something very odd. Why would you trade into your division?
Doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. You've made the Sixers better.
You see what you did to me?
Yeah. You made the Sixers better. Now, look, let me just say this. If you hate analytics, Ricky. Hate analytics when it comes to baseball.
Yes.
Certain basketball analytics will tell you that Jaylen Brown is not as good as he appears to be.
Well, number one, I guess he's seventh on he was seventh on the Celtics team, like the seventh best player according to analytics.
According to analytics.
That's a joke.
But your eye test would tell you, what are you, crazy? Like, Jaylen Brown is a guy who can play defense. He can create offensively. He can score. He can carry the team. I mean, he's a guy now, if you're a 76ers fan, where late in the game, you need a basket. Put the ball in Jaylen Brown's hands, man, because he's going to get you that basket. Now, whether or not they can make it all work with Embiid and Maxey and Edgecombe, I think they can. Now, Nick Nurse, you got to figure this out. You got a lot of personalities on this team. You got to figure out how they all get the ball. But I 100% am back on board with the 76ers. I can't believe how excited I am about this 76ers team. And that's the question we're going to throw out on the Twitter poll today. Do you believe in the 76ers again?
I got a question for you. He gets a trade bonus?
Who does? Jaylen Brown?
It says trade bonus, lesser of 7% or $7 million, triggered with Philadelphia-Boston trade. Does he get $7 million for being traded?
Maybe.
Damn, not too bad, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he was scheduled to make $57 million this year. Paul George was going to make $54. Next year, Jaylen Brown gets $61.
God,
Paul George was getting $57.
Look at 2028-29.
But then the third year of the deal, $65 million for Jaylen Brown, Paul George is over. So is that why Boston did it for one less year on the contract? We will see. But do you believe in the 76ers again? Let's check in on the Twitter poll. Twitter poll up?
It's up.
Of course it's up. It's always up. 4 hours a day, thanks to Dr. Avi Donapel of Iron Mountain Men's Health. What we got?
Do you believe in the 76ers again, yes or no? Oh, how a trade changes it all. 75% are voting yes, 25% voting no.
Make it a run, baby! Make the run!
Dude, I
I can't believe here we are, July 2nd.
Sixers are getting through the second round.
Dude, I can't wait for the season. Like, I cannot wait for the Sixers season. When was the last time we got to say that? I can't wait, man. This might be, I'm trying to think back for the 76ers. When was the last time you were this excited about a player acquisition?
Jimmy Butler, maybe?
Butler was an exciting one.
Fair.
But, okay, what do you say about the naysayers that are saying this is no different than Butler and Harden?
This guy.
And George, for that matter.
This guy's won a title. This guy's been an NBA Finals MVP. That's the difference. This guy has a championship pedigree. That's what I look at as a difference. James Harden, what's been the knock on him? As good as he can be, he doesn't show up when it matters most. Paul George, as good as his career has been, hasn't had success in the postseason. This guy has. He's done nothing but have success. His entire, was he been with Boston 10 years now? He's had a great decade.
This is just
with the Boston Celtics.
But you're right. It does feel too good to be true right now. I don't know why that is. I don't know why I feel that way. I just know it's there.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We got a lot of people on the phone lines that want to react to this. We want to hear from people today. 3 ways to get involved in the show. As always, get your voice memos in, get your text into the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. But you could also pick up the phone and call. It's the same number. We'll get to the phones coming up. But let's get a text in, Sil. Is the text line blowing up? Are people losing their minds over this move?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, I do want to know if you would want one that's more excited or more so along the same line of that segment that you just had.
Wait, people are worried it's too good to be true? Let me hear that.
Yeah, so we had Christian who says, does anyone else worry that this is some sort of trick? Something doesn't smell right. Either Brad Stevens is some sort of mad genius or someone better go and check on him.
All right. I did have that same thought, right? And Ricky just said he's mad at me for putting that in his head. Coming up, I'm going to play 2 NBA insiders. Well, one NBA insider. The other one's Colin Cowherd. Brian Windhorst laying out why he thinks Boston made this trade, and then Colin Cowherd talking about why he thinks Boston made this trade. All right, we'll see if we agree with them because we are trying to figure out why Boston would do this. We'll do that. We'll get to your phone calls coming up next as we celebrate the 76ers today. I can't believe it. What better time, too? Celebrating the 76ers before the 250th birthday
Play the
of
song
the United
going to
States?
Break. Come on.
Unfiltered continues right here, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Welcome back into Unfiltered. Obviously reacting all show long to this Jaylen Brown trade for your 76ers. Getting out from underneath Paul George's contract, but being able to bring back a superstar like Jaylen Brown. He gave up 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, which is not a lot in the modern NBA. So we're asking the question, or at least I did, is it too good to be true? Like, are we missing something? Why would Boston be interested in making this move from what looks like they sold Jaylen Brown for 50 cents on the dollar, essentially? Well, maybe Brian Windhorst can put it in a little bit of perspective for us, because he was on ESPN trying to make sense of this trade as well. And he thinks the Celtics made this trade under duress. Listen to Windhorst.
This is just the league speculation. It's not reporting, but I don't dispute it, is that this was a trade that was made under duress. This was not a trade that you would make in a clinical setting. It's not a trade, there's no deadline. Didn't have to do it by the end of July 1st. That you wouldn't do this trade under these circumstances if everything was equal, that something wasn't equal. We'll see what gets said about it, but that's been the multiple person reaction from the executives. I was actually on the phone with a general manager who was driving. And when I saw the terms, I read them to him, and he was shocked and said, I thank God I'm at a stoplight.
This seems to be the general consensus across the board here. And this is what I just can't wrap my head around. Brad Stevens is not a dumb executive. The Boston Celtics are not a dumb franchise. Why would they do this? And like Windhorst just said,
I don't understand the duress.
There's no deadline. It doesn't make sense. Why would you have to make this move on July 1st if you're the Celtics? Wait it out. See if anyone else comes out of the woodwork.
You think this was coming down from ownership? Was there some kind of maybe Tatum?
Well, look, there could be the issue between Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
Do you think Tatum was like, you got to get rid of him before whenever else get rid of me? You know how the NBA is.
I'm sure we'll hear more come out over the next few weeks.
Do you think so?
Well, listen, once it becomes official, and it can't be official till July 6th, once that happens, the Celtics and Brad Stevens will have a press conference. You will start to maybe hear more things about what's going on behind the scenes. I mean, look, Jaylen Brown clearly going on the Twitch stream and saying some of the things he said after the season. One of the things I know rubbed the Celtics the wrong way, he referred to this season as being his favorite season of his career. He won a title 2 years ago. He didn't say that was his favorite season. This one was. And you know why? Because Tatum was hurt for most of the year, and Jaylen Brown was the main guy. I think that went a long way in rubbing the Celtics the wrong way. So, listen, a lot of people have their theories. Now, here's Colin Cowherd trying to explain what he heard about Jaylen Brown, on what he thinks could be the issue with Jaylen Brown. Here's Cowherd.
Jaylen Brown, I had 2 NBA sources tonight, 2 people in the league, one an executive, one a scout, say that Jaylen Brown it's a disease. He suddenly thinks he's the smartest guy in every room he's in. I've worked with people in the media. It's really, you get into a really bad space. You make a lot of money. Suddenly you're absolutely sure. You don't want to listen to your bosses. You don't want to listen to consultants. You don't want to listen to teammates. Jaylen's kind of, and by the way, this was, one executive told me, this was always a little bit of Jaylen Brown's personality, kind of the smartest guy in the room, and live streaming and throwing it out there, and that's just not a good space. It used to be nothing good happens after 3 a.m. Nothing good happens when pro athletes live stream.
I don't disagree with Cowherd. Nothing good happens when pro athletes live stream these days. But yeah, saying now Jaylen Brown thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and he doesn't want to listen to teammates or coaches or executives. This is where now there is pressure on Nick Nurse, because you have to get this guy in the building, get him to buy in, get him to want to work with, where he's a guy who likes the ball in his hands. Well, that might not be always the case when you have Maxey and Embiid and Edgecombe on the court. So we're going to see now how do they get all these pieces together. But we also just got some breaking news. Jaylen Brown has issued a statement. We have not heard from Jaylen Brown yet about the trade. Now, there is no audio here, but Shams Charania of ESPN has put out Jaylen Brown's statement. I will read this to you word for word. It's a little bit long, so bear with me. Jaylen Brown's statement, quote, "First and foremost, thank you to the Most High. Even in the midst of adversity, I'm here with gratitude. I'm still processing how this all went down. I'm excited and disappointed at the same time. I earned my respect from this city. I never asked for shortcuts or special treatment. I simply showed up every day, put my head down, and accepted every challenge. The relationships I built here, the battles we fought together, the championships we brought to the city, and the connection I shared with the fans, I'll carry on with me. Saying goodbye isn't easy when you've invested your heart into something. I'm big on respect, and actions speak louder than words. To the people of Boston, thank you. To the community I built here, I love you. And to the Shiftaz, we are locked in for life. As one chapter closes, another begins. I'm excited for what's ahead and grateful for the opportunity to join Philadelphia. Every city has its own identity, its own passion, and its own expectation. I respect that, and I'm looking forward to earning that respect the only way I know how, through the work. Philly, throw the ball up. Let's get it. End of statement.
I love the end of the statement.
Oh! Dude, I love it.
Doesn't thank one teammate.
Well, he thanked. You're right. He doesn't thank the teammate, does he?
He said the relationships I built here, but I don't know if that means your teammates. Yeah, they fought together.
Yeah. He just says to the people of Boston, thank you. No thank you to the coaches. No thank you to the organization, I guess, right?
Basically, that's a KMA, isn't it?
A little bit. I mean, well, look, didn't they basically say KMA to him, sending him off for a 37-year-old Paul George?
So look, he sounds like this came out of nowhere. Like, not necessarily out of nowhere, but I think maybe the Giannis trade would have been a little different.
Who?
Yeah. Giannis.
What did I say?
Giannis. It's all right. It's a tough name. Say his last name.
It's all right. I said Simmons.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I could say the last name. I can't say the first name.
So there it is from Jaylen Brown. All right, let's go to the phones because I do want to talk to Philly fans today. Paul from the Northeast is saying he does not believe there is a hidden agenda. When we're saying, what are we missing here? Let's see what Paul has to say. What's going on, Paul?
Hey, guys, how are you? Hey, Bill, Ricky, Sal. I honestly don't think there's a hidden agenda. I think that with the new information that you just told me, I think Jaylen Brown actually was surprised that he was going to get traded, but I think he's happy to come here. But I think there's other reasons. I think there's some problems in Boston's background with their business and whoever their GM is doing right now, because it doesn't sound like he was happy there. I mean, you're only 2 years removed from a championship, right?
Yep.
An MVP, right? This guy can play basketball. So why would you just deal him out for what, 2 1s and 2 2s? Really? That doesn't make sense. And here's another thing. And I love you guys, by the way. But you always talk about clickbait. Well, maybe this is all this other background noise, right? Because Boston doesn't want to feel embarrassed, right, that they lost Jaylen Brown to a really serious competitor now. Because you'd all agree, right, that the Sixers are a really big competitor for the East at least.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think they've taken a major step up. This is a major move for the Sixers, and I think it's actually going to bolster them into a contending team in the East this year.
Yesterday, I was talking to you because we were going back and forth with the Flyers moves and the Sixers moves, and we were looking at NBA Finals odds compared to the Flyers Stanley Cup odds. When we were on the show yesterday, the Sixers odds were a plus 7,000.
Yep.
The last time I checked last night, they were down to a plus 2,500.
You should have taken it last night.
You said it, too. You're like, that's not a bad bet, remember?
Yep.
You're like, that's not a bad bet. Let's see where they are now, just with that one move. They're now at a plus 2,200. Plus 7,000 yesterday. Less than 24 hours, they're down to a plus 2,200.
Taking a major turn. Sometimes you look at things and it's just one move. But that one move could be critical. And I feel like this was a critical move that the Sixers did. It was a big move. You got rid of the older gentleman within your organization. You bring in a younger guy he's incredible. He's a top, 10 at worst player in the NBA right now.
Yeah, I would say top 15 at worst, but you're right. I mean,
I would say top 10.
He finished 6th in MVP voting. 6th.
To me, that's a fantastic move. How is he going to fit in? I don't care at this point right now. You know what I mean? I don't care I think he's going to do well. I think that's Nick Nurse's problem, and I think Nick Nurse fixes it very, very simply.
Is he already the best player on the Sixers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You just traded for your best player.
Most people would say, I think they would still say Embiid, but he doesn't play enough. So, no, I would go yes,
a good
Jaylen
point.
Brown.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild that not only do you trade Paul George's contract, you just got back your best player on the team now. And if you missed it, Mike Gansey yesterday signed Dean Wade, who we were told is a glue guy. We had someone from the Cavaliers on, glue guy, going to be able to really provide some quality minutes. About 10 minutes ago, Anthony Simons, he signs him to a 2-year deal. Looks like that kid can play as well. He could be a nice bench piece. It's going to come off and give you some really needed minutes. I mean, this team right now, what Mike Gansey has done, at least on paper, is looking like a really good team. Want people's reaction to this? You can get in. Text, voice memos. We hear you coming up at 3:45. You can also pick up the phone and call. Same number across the board, 610-632-0975. But is Mike Gansey done? Is he done making monster moves? Ricky Bo, yesterday we talked about LeBron. And I said, I don't even want to talk about LeBron James coming to Philly. As much as I would love it, it's not going to happen. What felt like a 0 chance yesterday of LeBron James coming to Philadelphia is now looking like a legitimate possibility. We'll hear from a couple NBA insiders on why, and we'll talk about whether or not we would welcome King James to Philadelphia.
You wouldn't welcome him.
Ah! Coming up next, Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
All right, you getting ready to move, organize a garage, maybe the attic, remodel the bathroom? If that sounds like you, let me tell you about the perfect cleanup solution for all these projects and so much more. It's called the Bagster. The Bagster is by far the most convenient and affordable way to help with your cleanup. Bagster is just a great product. 3 cubic yard dumpster in a bag. It's sold at Home Depot, Lowe's, local home improvement stores, and for only $29.99. Yep, I said it. Only $29.99. Bagster is so easy to use. Whatever your cleanup plans are, cleaning out the garage, the attic, the basement, remodeling, whatever it is, I'm telling you, the Bagster could take it on. Go buy it, fill it, simply schedule your collection, and like magic, poof, it is gone. No time limits, completely on demand. Go to thebagster.com to find the store nearest you or for more details. This is Ricky Bo telling you to clean it up with the Bagster. Dumpster in a bag.
Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Savannah Kelleher. This update's brought to you by Mattress Firm. Need better rest? Let Mattress Firm sleep experts match you with the perfect bed at the July 4th sale. They make sleep easy. The 76ers have reportedly acquired former Boston Celtic Jaylen Brown in exchange for Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. From the Sports Hub in Boston, Mark Bertrand joins us at 4:25 to talk about the trade. We'll be reacting to the trade all day long. The 76ers are also reported to have signed guard Anthony Simons to a 2-year deal. Now with LeBron James on the market, Bobby Marks joined the Fanatic earlier, sharing how likely it is that he'd be a Sixer.
This is not a Philly has to go out and create $30 million cap space to get this guy. Like, everybody is on the same financial playing field. And for him, it's going to be like fit, happiness, winning, all the other elements.
The Phillies are closing out their series with the Pirates, and this update was also brought to you by Rosenbaum Injury Law. If you've been injured, don't settle for less, because winning means everything. Call Rosenbaum and Associates today for a free consultation. I'm Savannah Kelleher on your home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Start your day the right way. Tune in to Kincade and Salciunas with Andrew Salciunas, John Kincade, and Connor Thomas.
Every weekday from 6 to 10 a.m.
Watch them on the Fanatics YouTube channel or listen right here on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Baseball's brightest stars are coming to Philadelphia for the 2026 MLB All-Star Game. And Corona is bringing you closer to the action with Ricky's MLB All-Star Game Report. Here's 97.5 The Fanatics, Ricky Metallico.
The All-Star rosters are set. The excitement is building. And baseball's biggest stars are getting ready to take over Philadelphia. All-Star Week is almost here. And this city is about to become the center of the baseball world. Having pitched in the 96 All-Star Game right here in Philly, I can tell you there's nothing like the energy, the atmosphere, and hearing that hometown crowd. We'll keep you up to date on the biggest storylines, the Home Run Derby, and everything leading into the Midsummer Classic. I'm Ricky Bo.
Ricky's MLB All-Star Game Report is presented by Corona. Celebrate baseball's biggest stars all season long. And stay tuned to 97.5 The Fanatic for more All-Star coverage. Corona, the official cerveza of the MLB, limes in. Play ball.
You know, there's nothing I hate more than dishonest business practices. So I built the company GiveMeTheVin.com around this slogan. We do what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. At GiveMeTheVin.com, we show up at your house, check in hand, pay off your payoff. It's just that simple. GiveMeTheVin.com. We're the only 5-star BBB rated card buyer out there.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Unlock your brand's potential with multi-platform advertising trusted by over 500 local businesses. With a powerful mix of radio, streaming audio, and targeted digital solutions, your message reaches the audiences that matter most. From the influence of trusted local radio to the precision of digital targeting and the flexibility of streaming audio, this approach delivers measurable results that drive real growth. Visit 975thefanatic.com/advertise.
WPEN and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia. A Beasley Media Group station. 65 years of broadcasting. 97.5 The Fanatic. Now back to Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, we're coming up on the 3 o'clock hour here on this celebration. 76ers with a big move yesterday.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Mike Gansey.
Oh, you're not into that?
Took over only a couple of weeks ago, and he's completely changed this team already. Not only does he get Jaylen Brown in a trade where you unload Paul George's contract, he also makes the move yesterday. He signs Dean Wade. They signed the backup center from the Knicks. Earlier today, they signed Anthony Simons to hopefully be another bench piece. But is he done? So we want your reaction on the Jaylen Brown trade, but I also want to hear from you with regard to King James. Because we thought there was no chance. Like, LeBron, he's not going to come here. He told the Lakers he wasn't coming back. He's got to find a team. He's probably got 1 year left. I would have to believe he's going somewhere where he thought there was a realistic chance to win a title. Well, now, you look at the 76ers. They got a realistic chance of winning the title. And this isn't just us now creating this. Yesterday, Tony Jones of The Athletic puts out, per sources, the Sixers are interested in bringing in LeBron James. Then, last night, Mike Gansey's brother on Twitter shares a picture from some basketball camp where Mike Gansey is standing next to LeBron James, and he just puts the eye emojis. People are losing their minds. Is LeBron James coming to Philly? First of all, sign me up. Could you imagine a team, Ricky, where your starting five is Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid?
That's pretty good, right?
It's freaking awesome.
That's a championship team.
I mean, LeBron James at this stage in his career, this is exactly what he would need. This team would be perfect for him.
I mean, Embiid would be able to half-ass it all season. I'm being honest.
Well, he could already probably do that, even without LeBron, where you don't have to, you could win games without Joel right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be over the top. I mean, let's face it, we would be going wild. If that happens, This whole city's going to go wild.
So we're
the whole
off.
fan base is going to be off the hook.
We're off tomorrow. If
Yeah.
LeBron James signs with the Sixers, I might have to come in tomorrow.
You have fun with it.
I might have to tell Brendan Gunn, like, sorry, bro, I'm coming in to talk about.
You know who's not
LeBron.
coming in tomorrow?
Dude, if they sign LeBron James, I'm picking your ass up and you're coming in. Cancel your tea time.
Nope.
You're coming in for LeBron.
There's a 0% chance of that, and you know it.
There's probably a 0% chance of you coming in. There's not a 0% chance of LeBron coming to Philly, though. Let's listen to some NBA insiders here. So Tony Jones of The Athletic, who dropped the news last night, wrote an article that per sources the Sixers were interested in LeBron James. He joined the boys in the morning, Connor Thomas and John Kincade, and broke down why LeBron would want to come to Philly. Listen to this.
Sixers have one of the best groups of four in the league in Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid and VJ Eshkom. And all of a sudden now 3 of the 4 are now durable instead of 2 of the 4, which is what you had in Paul George. So, a lot of sense basketball-wise because, LeBron come to Philadelphia and slot pretty seamlessly into the power forward spot. And, you have your innings eater now with Jaylen Brown, your regular season innings eater. And if you're LeBron, you can kind of coast and kind of get your body ready for a postseason run and kind of, be ready to kind of turn it on in that way. I don't think it's going to come down to all of that. I think it's going to come down to some other factors, and I think that those are factors that, only LeBron and Rich Paul and LeBron's family and those close to him going to demise. So, the best that the Sixers can do is put their hat in the ring, which is, what I reported that they've done. They've made contact with those close to LeBron, and they've made it clear that they're interested in potentially acquiring him. So it's just going to come down to what LeBron is comfortable with and what the factors are, with LeBron and the people that are close to him that matter the most.
So that was Tony Jones of The Athletic this morning on our morning show, Kincade and Salciunas. When he says in there, yeah, we know the Sixers are interested. Why would they not be interested? I'm shocked that there are fans. We're on YouTube live today because we're not on TV until after the Phillies game. And I see people in the YouTube chat saying they don't want LeBron. Like, we don't want LeBron. I don't understand how any objective person would look at LeBron James and how good he still is at his age and not want him on this team. Like, if you hate LeBron for whatever reason, which I don't get, what do you mean where would he play? He could probably play the 4 here. You could like I said, you'd have Maxey and Edgecombe as your guards.
But I'm just gonna say I think it really comes down to what he wants to do, period. Where he wants to play. If he wants to go back to Cleveland, go home.
But before you even get to LeBron's wants, what I'm saying is if you're the Sixers, and objectively, why would you not want LeBron on this team? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like the fans in the YouTube chat are saying, we don't want LeBron. Why? What is it about LeBron James' game that you would not want him on this team? You are a better team with LeBron James on it. And I know people, like I've said before, Ricky, you and I have talked about, I'm a Jordan guy, you're a Jordan guy, Jordan's the GOAT. LeBron James has done everything right on and off the court. I get it. He's done some annoying things, but he's not a guy who gets in trouble. He's not a guy who's ever involved in scandals. Right. He's lived up to the potential that exceeded his potential.
Right. I don't think that's even the issue here. I don't think there would be any issue if he came to Philadelphia. I think it would be great.
I think it would be great, too.
I mean, think about it. He went to L.A., okay. Yeah, the Cavs, Miami. It would be great to come up on the East Coast. Huh? Why not?
Well, look, if he's considering going home to Cleveland, why not just come up to Philly?
Which we did hear from Chris Fader the other day. That
Cleveland's a real possibility.
A very good possibility, yes.
But that was before Jaylen Brown was on the Sixers.
That was before things changed with the Sixers. It's unbelievable how these guys kind of just wiggled their way to anything, but there is a problem. Can the Sixers afford him?
All right. I'm glad you brought that up. Because Bobby Marks, ESPN insider, salary cap analyst, all that, was on with Johnny Marks today. So we had Tony Jones on in the morning laying out why he would want to come here. Bobby Marks weighed in on how they could make it happen. So I got 2 audio clips from Bobby Marks that I want to play. Before we get to him talking about how they can make it work financially, now Bobby Marks is a national NBA insider. And he's talking about on why LeBron would want to come to Philadelphia. So let's play that first, and then we'll get to how they make it work from a money standpoint. Here was Bobby Marks on Middays.
I think that's for any franchise that has a chance to compete. because we're different than it was in 2018 and 2010. All these different times LeBron was a free agent. There was a level playing field financially. This is not a Philly has to go out and create 30 million cap space to get this guy. Like, everybody is on the same financial playing field. And for him, it's going to be like fit, happiness, winning, all the other elements too, as far as how he wants to finish his game. As far as Embiid, real quick, the contract is the contract. The wild card is the wild card. As much as they can go get Jaylen Brown, where this team, we talked about it, goes, is a lot of it's going to be, where Joel is from availability standpoint.
All right, so that was in response to a question where Johnny Marks said, hey, if they go get LeBron, does that mean Embiid's got to be traded? And Marks is saying pretty much no. Like, this is all level playing field, and LeBron's going to pick a place for fit, happiness, and kind of how he wants to play. I think it fits. I think he could be very happy here because you have a chance to win a title. He would be absolutely beloved. I know there's some people in the YouTube chat saying, no, they wouldn't want him. If LeBron James is holding up a Sixers jersey at a press conference, we're all going to lose our minds, as we should. It fits. But does it work financially? And I thought this was the best part of Bobby Marks' interview today. It works perfectly financially. Listen to Marks on the financial side of things.
Yeah, just from mechanics-wise, there's two things. They use most of their mid-level on Dean Wade and Huck Porty, so they basically split it up between those two. They've got the biannual, which is at 5.5. You've got to worry about they're hard capped at the first apron, so you're basically going to have to fit everything under 209. LeBron's minimum is like 4, so it's like, but that's what Golden State has, and that's what Cleveland has, and that's what Miami has. Like, so as I said, like, he's made, and I hate talking about other people's money and stuff, but he's made $600 million. So when you take all that into consideration, I think wherever he goes, he's gonna weigh a lot of different things into it.
So if you're telling me all things are equal, he's going to get the same amount of money from Golden State, or the same amount of money from the Miami Heat, or the same amount of money from the Philadelphia 76ers, between those three teams, the Sixers give him the best chance to win a title. I don't see him winning a title in Golden State. I mean, look, I love Curry, but he's older. Like, I don't think he wins a title with the Golden State Warriors. Now, if he wants to stay out west, maybe that's where he goes. But if you're telling me he's going to go to Miami, or he's going to go to Cleveland, or he has an opportunity to come to Philadelphia, if you're coming back to the East Coast anyway, I get it, South Beach a little bit different. But if you're coming back to the East Coast anyway, and the money's equal everywhere, and like Bobby Marks points out, yeah, LeBron's made $600 million. This isn't about money for him.
Right.
If he wants a true chance to win a title, it's here.
Yeah, but you're still it's going to be 10 to 15 million, isn't it? It's not like you're just going to, how do you know it's not about any money?
I'm not saying I know it's not about any money.
No. I'm just saying, like, how could anybody say when it's literally like a LeBron choice? I guess if like he was going to go to Cleveland for $9 million, I guess he would go elsewhere for 10 to 15. Yeah.
But what Bobby Marks just said in that clip was, it's going to be the same amount of money everywhere because all the teams have the same amount to spend, essentially.
Do you think so?
That it doesn't sound like based off of...
But teams could always shuffle their rosters.
They could. And this now was said before the Sixers signed Anthony Simons to a 2-year deal. I think they gave him, what was it, $13 million? What did they give Anthony today?
Yeah, I want to say 13.
Let me pull it up. Yeah, 12.3. So they did just use about 6.15 million of this year's salary. So I don't know how they could make it work.
$6 million this year, 6.3 next year.
Now, is there any scenario, and this is why John Marks asked Bobby Marks, no relation, by the way, even though John likes to joke they're cousins. He asked Bobby Marks about the Joel Embiid situation because he was saying, is there any way that Gansey's not done and has another trick up his sleeve where they're going to trade Joel?
Love to hear it.
No. That was his response, saying, no, they don't have to get LeBron. Because he was like, if they're truly in on LeBron, does that mean they're trading Joel? And Bobby Marks said no.
But then after the fact, he goes and gets Simons.
Yeah. But
that's not necessarily a trick up your sleeve. That's 2 $6 million contracts for 2 separate years. I mean,
no. The trick up the sleeve was, are they going to trade Joel Embiid if they are in fact interested in LeBron?
So the answer to that would be a no. I get that part.
Yeah, I still think.
Can you imagine that starting 5?
I can't believe I'm talking myself.
That
into
would
this.
fix the bench too.
I can't believe I'm talking myself. I don't want to. I don't want to trade Joel.
That would fix the bench on top of it.
Is it crazy
if you don't trade him?
That's what I'm saying. I can't believe I'm talking myself into it.
Can you imagine it would be Embiid, LeBron, Brown, Edgecombe, and Maxey.
I don't want to trade Joel. Isn't that crazy? I've been pounding the table.
Do you?
I know, because I'm going to convince myself. But if he stays healthy.
But that's not really the point right now. I mean, the point is the Sixers got a great player in Jaylen Brown. They have an opportunity, or a lot of teams have an opportunity, to get one of the best players to ever play the game. That's still sitting out there.
You're talking about LeBron.
LeBron.
But it's his choice.
You know people are going to jump on this.
It's his choice. Well,
right,
a lot of teams
his choice. That is the strangest thing about the NBA, because that's why this Jaylen Brown thing is different, because it wasn't him saying I want out. And he didn't say anything about the coaching staff, about the organization, nothing in that sense in his statement. That tells you something. That tells you something that it was a shock. It was a bit of a culture shock to him that this had happened to him.
Yeah, it says, I'm still processing how this all went down. I'm excited and disappointed at the same time.
Which means he wasn't told either. Like, in my eyes, that's what, when I got traded, this is what it felt like. Like, I could feel that feeling come back to me right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still wild that Jaylen Brown is here. And even if they don't make the move for LeBron James, they're still a competitor in the Eastern Conference right now. There's no doubt about that. And the crazy thing is, I'm saying I don't know if I want to see them trade Joel. I probably would be okay with it to get out from under the contract.
Right.
But even like you mentioned earlier, if Joel Embiid only plays 39 games again in the regular season, you still could be a top seed in the Eastern Conference with Jaylen, Tyrese, and VJ. And now Dean Wade, nice glue guy. You're building your bench. They got some other moves they got.
I think you're in good shape today, right now. I think the Sixers are in good shape. They are in good shape to get past the second round, which they haven't done since 2001. That is 25 years ago. It's about time that you get a feel that they're past that hump, or they could get over that hump. That is where I feel right now. I'm psyched for the Sixers. I'm psyched for the fan base. I think this is a really good move for the Sixers getting Jaylen Brown.
I agree with you, and it seems like the text board agrees with us mostly. I want to hear from people. We got a lot of voice memos coming through, a lot of text coming through on the Davis Honda text line. You could also pick up the phone and call. We want your reaction to the Jaylen Brown trade, and would you welcome LeBron James? Because if the reports are true, and it sounds like they are, Tony Jones from The Athletic, Bobby Marks from ESPN, they're all saying, no, the Sixers are interested. Even Mike Gansey's brother tweeting out cryptic tweets last night that they're looking at LeBron James. I mean, this is getting wild for Sixers fans. We want to hear from you. 610-632-0975. Anybody weighing in on the Davis Honda text line with regard to LeBron? Because the YouTube chat is all over the place. There's people who want him. There's people who don't want him. What's the text board saying?
Well, we have a couple of texts that just straight up say no LeBron. We have someone that says that you are always star chasing because he's saying, does he want to spend his last year dealing with our media and our fan base? Guessing that's a no as well.
You talk about LeBron?
Yeah.
I mean, look, LeBron James, I know Cleveland isn't Philadelphia, but Cleveland doesn't have necessarily like an easy media, right? I mean,
right.
L.A., yeah, a lot different. L.A. is a lot different. But I think at his stage in his career, with everything that he's been through, I don't think LeBron's going to say, you know what, I don't want to deal with the big, bad Philly media. I think LeBron will have no problem in Philadelphia.
I don't think he cares. Let's face it, he runs the media anyways. But when you really kind of think about it, he's kind of the one that runs the media now anyways. He's one of the greatest players in the NBA history. He doesn't have to work the media. He doesn't have to do anything for the media. As a matter of fact, that's why I said he's running his own media, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so this guy
he's not going to be dictated by the media, period.
T.Coffin on our YouTube chat today, because we are live on YouTube. You don't know ball if you don't want the basketball player LeBron. He's my point forward, teaching the pupils how to be teaching the pups how to be a champion. That's how I look at it.
He's not wrong.
Why would you not want this guy? I don't understand it. And I think it's just, look, if you don't like LeBron James, you don't like LeBron James. But when you look at it objectively, he helps this team. You're a better team with LeBron. I mean, even without LeBron, you're certainly a better team today than you were last night at 6 o'clock.
And make the statement again. This is LeBron's choice. Okay, so if he were to come to Philadelphia, this is all on him. Like he's seeking out the team. I think a lot of people still think it's a free agency where everybody's going after him. No, it's not that. It's more that he's going to pick the team.
Oh, yeah, of course. LeBron's at that point. He picks them. So we'll see what he ends up wanting to do. All right, look, I know a lot of people weighing in. We Hear You coming up at 3:45. Best voice messages of the show. It's always a fun segment. But coming up next, been looking forward to this. How is Boston handling this trade? Like, we're here in Philadelphia, and we're celebrating that the Sixers got Jaylen Brown and they traded Paul George and they got out from under that contract. How is Boston handling it? Well, we have some great fan reactions, and we also have what it sounded like on Boston radio last night when the news broke that the Celtics traded Jaylen Brown for Paul George. We'll let you hear what it sounded like on Boston radio. We'll also get some fan reaction as well coming up next. Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Savannah Kelleher, and this update's brought to you by the McComb Group. Visit McCombGroup.com. The McComb Group supports contractors with one of the largest PVF inventories. From pipe, valve, and fittings to trusted brands, count on the McComb Group to help you stay on schedule. Visit McCombGroup.com today. The 76ers have reportedly acquired former Boston Celtic Jaylen Brown in exchange for Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. Tony Jones from The Athletic joined The Fanatic earlier explaining how this happened.
Something that came together relatively quick because the Celtics just believed that this was the best pack that they were going to get, and they had to accept it. For the Celtics, they had to get Jaylen Brown out of their building.
From the Sports Hub in Boston, Mark Bertrand joins us at 4:25 to talk about the trade. We'll be reacting to the trade all show long today. The Sixers are reported to have also signed guard Anthony Simons to a 2-year deal. Phillies are closing out their series with the Pirates, not looking too great right now. This update was also brought to you by Wawa. Hoagie Fest is back. Get a shorty hoagie, chips, and a drink for $6. Make it a classic for $8. Gotta have a Wawa. I'm Savannah Kelleher on the home of the Sixers, Flyers, and the Union, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
You tell it like it is, and so do we.
This is our getaway day, Ricky Bo, because we won't be here tomorrow as we celebrate the 4th of July holiday. 4th of July on a Saturday, so we're off tomorrow. But the show will be on the air. You'll have Brendan Gunn and Andrew DeCecco along with Silvana Kelleher. But we couldn't have gotten better news last night. I wished it would have broken while we were on the air. But literally, we're driving home, and we get the text from Silvana, and all it said is Jaylen Brown, oh, my God. And I had no idea what she's talking about. I wanted to pull the car over. If I didn't have to go to the Phillies game, I say have to, but I was taking my kids to the Phillies game, I would have turned around and jumped back on the air. Like, that's how exciting it was. I wanted to talk about it, and we had to wait now until 2 o'clock today to get a chance to talk about it. But we're all universally excited in the city of Philadelphia, as you should be. Mike Gansey. And it's not only Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, obviously, is the big prize jewel that you've gotten. You get out from the George contract. You signed Dean Wade yesterday. You get Anthony Simons today. I mean, he's cooking. We talk about let Howie cook. Let Mike Gansey cook right now. He is building a legitimate team.
How sneaky is he? It is so nice to have somebody who keeps things quiet, and then all of a sudden it just sneaks up on you. That thing last night came out of the blue. Let's face it. We had no idea that was coming up. And all of a sudden, we're on the way home, and boom, 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 we all know something's up.
Yeah, like I said to you guys when we were talking about whether or not they were going to try to trade George or Embiid's contract, like, oh, we would have heard something. Like Shams would have put out, we would have heard something. And then even with the Jaylen Brown trade rumors, the Sixers were never mentioned. Like, I don't think any NBA insider had the Sixers as a potential landing spot for Jaylen Brown. Because not only you didn't think they had the room financially to make it happen, you didn't think the Celtics would be crazy enough to trade Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. Why would the Celtics want to make the Sixers a better team in the Eastern Conference, right? So we're going to get to now some of the Boston reactions.
Yep.
Now, coming up at 4:25, we're going to be joined by Mark Bertrand. Am I saying his name right? Bertrand? Yeah, it's
Bertrand.
Oh, goodness.
It's Zolak and Bertrand. I know. Everyone calls him Beetle.
It's Zolak and Bertrand.
Zolak and Bertrand.
Zolak.
What am I saying?
Zolak?
Whatever. Either way, they're the midday show at our sister station up in Boston, 98.5 The Sports Hub. So he's going to be joining us at 4:25. Everyone calls him Beetle. So Beetle will be joining us at 4:25 to get the real Boston perspective. But I want to have some fun now because I said we weren't on the air last night when the trade went down. Well, Tony Maserati, also from 98.5, the Sports Hub up in Boston, was on the air. Now, he's a baseball guy. So from 6 to 7, they do a baseball special, and that's why Tony Maserati was on. But he's also their afternoon host up there, the same show as us, the 2 to 6 show, Felger and Maz. Maserati's on the air. He gets the news that the Celtics just traded Jaylen Brown to the Sixers for Paul George, and it sounded like he handled it really well. Listen to this.
Jaylen Brown traded to the Philadelphia 76ers for Paul George, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks. Let me begin right here. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it with a freaking passion. This was a salary dump or a contract dump, or define it however you want. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous trade. Paul George is 36 years old, and to save 1 year of money, 1 year of money, Jimmy, is what you're telling me, that George is getting paid for the next 2.
Yep.
Is there any sort of player option or anything after that?
Not that I'm seeing.
So the Celtics just traded a guy that they took with the number 3 pick in the draft, who's been here 10 years, who's MVP of the NBA Finals, wingman to Jason Tatum, if not his equal, pretty damn close. And they traded him to the Philadelphia 76ers for a 36-year-old guy who looks like he's getting near the end. There was a little bit of a resurgence there in the postseason. But a guy who's been a failure pretty much everywhere he's gone since he left Indiana. 2 firsts and 2 seconds. I hate it. It was a money dump. That's all it was. And the Celtics now today are worse than they were yesterday.
I love it. He actually nailed it right on the head.
He did not hold back, man.
He actually nailed it right on the head.
Yeah, I mean, when you talks about the money dump, yeah, Paul George, $54 million next year, $57 million the year after, and then his contract's over. Jaylen Brown, $57 million next year, $61 million, and then a $65 million year. So in essence, they dumped that third year. Is what he thinks the Boston Celtics were doing.
Yes, they were dumping the $60-something million. Okay, so I guess they're looking at what we thought the Sixers were looking at. right? You were thinking about, okay, you get rid of George, then they have the open years after that. But, hey, you know what? I'll take Jaylen Brown any day. Thank you, Boston. It's about time you did something for a team that I like, actually.
I cannot believe. I mean, and now when we go back, the Knicks swept the Sixers in the second round, so we were all very frustrated. But when we go back now and relive the excitement of when the Sixers came back down 3-1 against the Celtics, think about what that set in motion. With the Sixers coming back and beating the Celtics down 3-1, with that comeback, it now set in motion Jaylen Brown going on his Twitch stream, Jaylen Brown saying certain things, Jaylen Brown saying this was my most favorite season I've ever had, and they're scratching their head saying, what do you mean it was the most favorite season? We came up short. And then you start to connect the dots. Oh, it was because Jason Tatum was hurt all those games, and you got to be the number one guy. But, like, if the Sixers don't come back and beat the Celtics, is Jaylen Brown still on the Celtics? Like, did that comeback actually put the wheels in motion that we're sitting here today celebrating Jaylen Brown to the Sixers and Paul George's big, ridiculous contract going back to Boston? I don't know.
I'm celebrating it.
I don't know.
You never hear me get giddy about stuff like this. I'm so happy to have Jaylen Brown here instead of Paul George. It might not even be the fact that it's Jaylen Brown for me. I think the whole fact to me is that 36-year-old is no longer a 76er.
Well, I mean, if we would have came in today and we were saying, oh, Mike Gansey traded the Paul George contract and a couple of picks for an expiring contract, people wouldn't have been over the moon about it, but there would have been some excitement that, okay, you've freed up salary, you've set yourself up where we don't have to wait 2 years. I don't think anyone was anticipating you'd actually get a star player back, but I do wonder if the Sixers did not come back and beat the Celtics in that first-round playoff series, if any of this happens. I mean, it is pretty wild how all of this has now been set in motion. Now, before we get some Boston fan reactions, which are even better than our man Maserati's reaction just now, we were talking about LeBron James about a half hour ago on whether or not the Sixers would be interested and whether or not LeBron would be interested. Shams was just on ESPN, and he just dropped, I'm told the Sixers are also trying to make a pitch to LeBron James. Include the Sixers and maybe one or two other teams in that mix. You're telling me there's a chance, man?
Well, there's always going to be a chance. You don't know if they're the only ones that are throwing that out there. You know what I mean? There could be a lot of things going on, but you have to be happy that they're involved. They're getting involved. I mean,
well, you say a lot. Shams is saying maybe one or two other teams. That's it.
Okay, so there's three teams. There's teams to be chosen from.
And not a lot, though. I mean, three teams is not a lot of teams.
But you know one of those is the Cavs.
I would probably say it's Cleveland, Golden State, and the Sixers. Maybe Miami. Maybe.
Miami again, you think?
Maybe.
You don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they're the fourth team.
In all reality, it really comes down to what LeBron wants and what he feels is going to be his best place to go that would make him comfortable.
But even without him, I want LeBron, but even without him, you start to let yourself dream of the possibilities with this Sixers team now. Even if Embiid isn't healthy all season, you have a good enough group of players that you can compete in the Eastern Conference.
You know what? LeBron is probably a historian. He's been around long enough to know that the Sixers haven't been there in a long, long time. Tell me he wouldn't want to be the one to raise them up out of the ashes.
Look, LeBron's legacy is already set, but yeah, you want to add to his legacy? He helps Philly win their first title in 43 years.
Look what he did for Cleveland, Miami. I mean, come on.
Come on, LeBron.
I won't say the Lakers because they have a storied past.
LeBron, we want you, man.
We'll get you a signed Ricky Bowe ball.
Yeah, Ricky Bowe will bring you here. Ricky Bowe, you'll meet you and Johnny.
Wait a minute. What did he just say?
I know. I was going to say something else.
He goes, Ricky Bowe will rib him here.
Yeah, he'll bring you here.
What does that mean?
On your private jet.
I was going to say something else. All right. Sixers fans, we hear you coming up. Best voice messages of the show so far. I'm looking forward to a lot of excitement from Sixers fans. But let's listen to some Celtics fans. So Addison Sonberg, who's behind the scenes today, she went and put together a compilation of Celtics fans reacting to the Jaylen Brown trade. And, man, I don't want to do the victory lap yet. You got to see it on the court. But it is nice sitting here today, July 2nd, laughing at Boston. Here's a nice little compilation of Celtics fans reacting to the trade.
I can't tell you how much I hate Paul George.
We got Paul George instead of Giannis.
Can't tell you how much I hate the Sixers.
I think this is an ownership decision.
I thought we were at the top. JB's a finals MVP. I hope the Celtics know what they're doing.
What are they thinking? What is Brad Stevens thinking? I have no idea.
We all hate it. We feel like it's bad for the city. I don't really know what Brad Stevens was thinking.
It was a small salary dump to send him to a massive contender of the Celtics in the East. It's not the correct move at all.
You know, the fact that it went to the Sixers itself for a pretty injury-prone Paul George, it's honestly ridiculous.
We all hate the Sixers. It's probably the worst team it could have gone to. Like, we blew a 3-1 lead. It's horrible. This is a really bad day.
I think Jaylen Brown, what he did for the city, what he did for the people, the organization, bringing a Finals MVP was everything, and trading him away for Paul George, I don't know about that one. That's a bummer.
Yeah, I don't know how you could celebrate this.
Why?
How could you celebrate it as a Boston fan? There's nothing to like about this.
Think about this for a second. That would be like trading Maxey to the Boston Celtics.
Not even.
Or the Knicks.
Not even. Because Maxey hasn't been a Finals MVP.
Yeah, but I'm talking from this team. Like, if you were to trade somebody off of this team to somebody within your division.
I think the closer comparison would have been after the 2001 season, like 2 years later, turning around and trading Allen Iverson to the Celtics or the Knicks in his prime. Like, that's what it would have felt like. AI's getting traded for an old veteran with still 2 years remaining on his deal who's often injured.
Wow. I'm beside myself that Celtics would do this. Not only to their own players, but to their fan base. And I'm laughing because I don't like Boston. So
the only thing, and I keep coming back to it, and I don't want to have any bad juju out there today, but we say this, and there's, in the back of my mind, this voice that keeps telling me, though, is it too good to be true? What don't we know? Why would Boston do this? Why would Boston make this trade that has been universally viewed as a terrible move? They're not a bad franchise. They're not dumb. They don't make bad decisions.
Maybe it was a salary dump. Maybe they were looking to the future. Brad Stevens is no idiot.
Yeah, but salary dump.
Then why?
1 year
It's just 1 year, but it is $60-something million.
In year 3.
Right.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's still 60. See, the thing you're missing here is that it still is $60-something million.
Yeah, but 3 years from now.
Does it matter? Is it not still $60 million?
Yeah, but the Celtics are a team that want to compete for the title still.
Maybe they think they could still contend with a guy like Paul George.
Well, they definitely
for
do.
2 years. And then think about this for a second. Paul George leaves. You're sitting there with a lot of money that you can go and get people.
In 3 years.
Yes.
It's interesting,
Maybe
man.
they think he can only compete for 2 years. Maybe they think it's a good move in that sense. They think he's got a little bit left in the tank, which he didn't really here. He did kind of show up in the playoffs. I will give him that.
Actually, I mean, to be fair, Paul George probably had a better last 3 games than Jaylen Brown did in that series.
Yeah.
Paul George really performed in that series against the Celtics. But, all right, look, here's what we got coming up. Best voice messages of the show. All right, we hear you. We do it twice a show. Coming up next, we'll do it again at 5:25. We'll be reacting to the Jaylen Brown trade all show long. We'll mix in some Phillies a little bit later. They're getting smoked right now, 6-1 because their bullpen
The bullpen
stinks.
was outstanding.
Bullpen stinks, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Coming up next, we hear you. Best voice messages of the show. Don't go anywhere. Unfiltered. 97.5 The Fanatic.
back to Unfiltered. Obviously, we talking about the Sixers pretty much all show long after Mike Gansey, out of nowhere last night, makes the trade for Jaylen Brown. Not only getting Jaylen Brown, but getting out from under the Paul George contract, which is just wild. And you look around the NBA, every analyst, locally, nationally, they're all saying it seems like the Sixers won this trade by a long shot. We're still trying to figure out why the Celtics would do what they did. But, hey, if the Sixers are the one benefiting from it, we're all for it. We're going to get to the best voice messages of the show in a second. We hear you. We do it every show, twice a show, 345, 525. But, Ricky Bo, let's check the Twitter poll. Because you know if we would have asked this question 24 hours ago, it would have been probably over 90%. The question is, do you believe in the Sixers again? If we would have asked this question yesterday on the show, it probably would have been 90% no. But after Mike Gansey not only makes the trade for Jaylen Brown, he also signs Anthony Simons today. Great bench piece. I think it's a smart move. He gets Dean Wade yesterday. Looks like it's going to be a good move. We spoke to the Cavaliers reporter from Cleveland yesterday talking about he's a glue guy. He's building this team. It's something that Daryl Morey, I felt like, would always go for the shiny object, but didn't necessarily care about how the pieces would fit, didn't care about culture, didn't care about any of that. It seems like Mike Gansey and Bob Myers have a vision. They want guys who are working hard. They want guys who are going to leave it on the court. They want to build a deeper bench. It seems like Gansey is certainly headed in that direction. So the question is, do you believe in the Sixers again? Twitter poll, always up, thanks to Dr. Avi Donapel of Iron Mountain Men's Health. Standing strong for 4 hours. I am very curious where these numbers are. What do we got, Sil?
Well, do you believe in the Sixers again, yes or no? Up to 78% saying yes, 22% saying no.
Man, what's the 22%? Is it just because of the fact that the Sixers feel cursed?
Well, we have a response. We have a reply I can read.
Yeah, let me hear this.
Sinclair says, as much as I love what Gansey and company are doing, I can't believe in this team because that would mean I would have to believe in Joel. After a decade, I'll never believe in Joel's health come April.
Listen, I do understand that sentiment a little bit, Ricky. Like, if Joel Embiid is on this team, which we all expect him to be, but if Joel Embiid is on this team, even though Jaylen Brown, VJ Edgecombe, and Tyrese Maxey probably are going to win you a lot of games. If you're going to rely on Joel Embiid in the postseason, I could see where some people are still a little reluctant that Joel Embiid's not going to be able to play enough games in a playoff series.
I think it's going to come down to a lot of management. And I think it's going to be second half management, really, in the second half of the season. You get them playing a little bit in the first half, and I think what we're going to see is a lot of every other day almost type off.
Has that worked in the past?
No, it hasn't. Nothing has worked in the past. He hasn't gone past 6 games in how many years? Actually, 5 games, right? He hasn't played 6 games in a row in whoever knows how long. That is not necessarily a good thing. I don't know. I think the one thing that the Jaylen Brown signing does is that you actually have somebody to fall back on now. I know it was James Harden, but was he a fallback guy? Is that a guy you wanted to fall back on?
No.
I think Jimmy Butler would have worked out here.
Well, you know what's funny? You bring up Butler. That arguably was the best Sixers team they've had in the Joel Embiid era, right? That 2018-19 season. If they don't lose on the quadruple doink to Kawhi Leonard, they might have won the title that year.
Maybe.
That's how good that team was.
True.
Jimmy Butler was a guy who was relentless, right? He's known to be an ultimate competitor. He's known to call out his teammates. He's known to be super aggressive in practice. Joel Embiid seemed to thrive with a guy like Jimmy Butler. Are you getting that in Jaylen Brown a little bit? Is he a guy that's going to push Joel? Is he a guy that's going to come in here and be the alpha?
He's going to push Joel, but he could take a place.
So I think he's going to push him.
Okay, so he pushes him. Yeah, because he's got something to prove. I agree with that.
Yeah.
He just got traded. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants a chip now with this team. How about that?
And they battled, man.
That worked.
It did work. That was a little play on words there. I like it.
But the other thing is, I mean, you bring up, well, if the triple doink doesn't happen, you know what? Reality does happen. That is, like, I can't stand when people do the ifs and buts. Because whatever has happened in the past, why would you try to change that? Like, it's happened. You can't do anything about it. The triple doink went in. It went in.
Quadruple. Yes.
Whatever.
It did.
See, you're an ass.
No, my point, though, wasn't that,
Oh, they should have won the title. They should have won the title. My point was that team had a guy like Butler on it, and I think Jaylen Brown has a similar personality.
Right, but you just said that wasn't your point, but you said they probably would have won a title after you said it.
I'm saying the team was really good.
I'm just throwing out facts here. Why do you go into hypotheticals if something has already happened?
You missed the point.
It's the dumbest thing in the world.
You missed the point of that point.
It's in our whole job, hypotheticals.
Yeah, but he missed the point.
No. I'm talking about stuff like from the past. Like if something happened in the past, somebody will say, "Well, what if this happened or that happened? Then they would have done this." You don't know diddly. Because how would they know? How would they know if that team would have gone on to win a championship, like you just said about the Sixers?
Well, I'm with you there, Ricky. I
get bothered. I'm sorry that bothered me, but it kind of
that wasn't the point.
Hurt.
Yeah, that wasn't the point of what I was trying to say.
That's what I heard.
But yeah, I to be honest with you though, I believe it 100%. If the Sixers get past the Raptors, they might have gotten to the NBA Finals.
Okay, what year are we in?
We're now 2026.
And that was how long ago?
7 years ago.
Did they get by the Raptors? Factually.
No, but
then you can't do that. That's my whole point.
That wasn't the point. All right, let's get to the best voice messages before I kill.
I've been the one pumping his D all week.
Before I kill Ricky Bo. Because we're going to go at it. We got a couple hours left before our 3-day vacation. All right. We hear you. Always brought to you by Rycor Heating and Cooling, your local experts for energy-efficient heat pumps, lower utility bills, and year-round comfort. Learn more at RycorHVAC.com or call 1-855-MY-RYCOR to start saving today. Rycor, we know how. We hear you twice a show, every show. Best voice messages. What we got?
This trade that we got for Jaylen Brown is like in comparison to getting Dr. J, New Jersey Nets from back in the day, or Moses Malone when he came from Houston. During those time frames, that's when we finally got over the hump, when we got that marketable superstar. And what more better place than to get Jaylen Brown from those damn Boston Celtics? Hell yeah, hell of a job. Looks like we finally got a GM that knows what the hell they're doing.
Get excited. Yeah, I mean, listen, we were talking a lot off air with the other shows. Like, is there a trade that's gotten more excitement? Has there been a better trade for the 76ers? And yeah, you got to go back, I guess, to Dr. J. Dr. J, Moses Malone.
Julius Irving.
And then it ends up getting you the title. Maybe this will work out the same way. We will see. Let's keep them rolling.
I think you guys are reading into it a little bit too much. I think for the Celtics, it was just a case of they wanted to get rid of a player who was on Twitch, acting a fool, being disruptive. And also, that 2028 pick from the Clippers is a real attractive pick because that's going to be a loaded draft. It may be a generational draft, so for the Celtics is the win. And sometimes we get nice things. I think we always think that we can't get nice things, but I think in this case, we got something nice, and I think it actually works out for both teams.
Yeah, look, I'm hoping he's right. We were asking, like, why does it feel too good to be true? I'm hoping he's right that the Celtics did want to get rid of a player. They do be able to dump that third year of salary, and that 2028 first-round pick could be a very, very good pick, especially with the Clippers just trading Kawhi Leonard. 2028, that could be a very high pick.
Okay, I understand that. Isn't that what this is all about? Isn't that what you're trying to better your teams one way or the other? Sixers bettered their team, didn't they? Did they not better their team?
Yeah, who's disputing that?
No, but I'm just saying you could argue it both ways. The Celtics dumped the $60+ million for the third year, so that opens them up. They have a number one pick in 2028. I mean, it actually kind of, if you think about it in a Celtics point of view, it kind of makes sense for the regrowing purpose of them.
Yeah, what surprises me, though, is that the Celtics' original asking price, according to Shams, was 4 or 5 first-round picks and a young player. And it's just wild to me that the best they could do is 2 first-round picks and Paul George and the 2 seconds. Like, that's the surprising part here. But, yeah, listen, we can have nice things, too. I agree with the caller. Let's be positive. What else we got?
Good afternoon, Unfiltered. Great show as always. I am feeling pretty good today with the Sixers. I can't actually believe it when Gansey, 2 weeks ago? He comes in, he's at the press conference. Everybody was saying he was trapped. There's nothing he can do. We're going to have to sit back and be patient. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gansey's got Sixers coming in the door. Here we go. Let's go Sixers.
All right, Andy.
Yeah, that's our man Andy from Lambertville from the YouTube chat usually weighing in. But, yeah, I mean, look,
Mike Gansey, poker-faced Mike Gansey, because at his press conference, Ricky, and even he met with the media twice, right? He had his introductory presser, and then he had the press conference after they drafted LeBaron Philon.
And then he went into his cave.
And then he went in and did the work behind the scenes.
How great was that? How nice is this to have a guy that everybody trusts right now? Do you not trust him after this 1 week? Do you not trust him?
I said this yesterday. I'm going to trust Gansey until he gives me reasons not to, and all he's doing is giving me more reasons to trust him.
I get it. I mean, but this is exactly what you want in a guy that's coming in to kind of restructure what he feels can be a championship team here in Philadelphia. We talked to Chris Fader. He loved him. He said we were going to – Chris Fader, who was he with? The Cleveland
Plain dealer.
Plain dealer. I couldn't remember. How about that?
His name was Fedor. Chris Fedor.
Well, it's spelled like Fader.
Yeah.
I thought it was Fedor.
Fedor actually might be better. Either way,
Chris
yes,
Fedor.
from Cleveland.
Okay, so anyways, he said that the people here are going to love this guy.
Talking about Gansey.
Gansey.
Yes, he did. And look, he's given us a bunch of reasons to love him already. All right, we're going to continue this conversation. We want to hear from you. You could weigh in. Your thoughts on the Jaylen Brown trade, your thoughts on the Anthony Simons signing, the direction of the 76ers. 3 ways to get involved. Voice memos and text to the Davis Honda text line, or pick up the phone and call. It's the same number across the board, 610-632-0975. As we continue to react, yes, the question that I keep asking, why were they able to get him for what they got him for? More NBA insiders weighed in. We'll hear what Tony Jones said this morning on why he thinks they got him for that price. And we'll hear from Chris Minix of Sports Illustrated on what he said about the Celtics and Jaylen Brown. A lot more coming up right here on Unfiltered, 97.5, The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
I'm Savannah Kelleher with this Fanatic Sports Update. The 76ers have reportedly acquired former Boston Celtic Jaylen Brown in exchange for Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks. From the Sports Hub in Boston, Mark Bertrand joins us at 4:25 to talk about the trade. We'll be reacting to the trade all show long today. Sixers also reported to have signed guard Anthony Simons to a 2-year deal. Now with LeBron James on the market, Bobby Marks joined the Fanatic, sharing how likely it is he'd be a Sixer.
This is not a Philly has to go out and create 30 million cap space to get this guy. Like, everybody is on the same financial playing field. And for him, it's going to be like fit, happiness, winning, all the other elements.
The Phillies lost to the Pirates today 6-1. Alan Rangel started pitching 4 innings with no earned runs. Then came the bullpen. The series winds up ending up in a split. Phillies get the day off tomorrow. This update was brought to you by the McComb Group. Visit McCombGroup.com. The McComb Group supports contractors with one of the largest PVF inventories. From pipe, valve, and fittings to trusted brands, count on the McComb Group to help you stay on schedule. Visit McCombGroup.com today. I'm Savannah Kelleher on the home of the Sixers Union and the Flyers, 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
on Unfiltered. Big story of the day clearly is the Jaylen Brown trade. The Philadelphia Phillies, though, did lose the final game of the series to the Pirates. So what'd they end up doing? Splitting?
I'm down on the Phillies.
It was 2-2, yeah.
Yeah, 2-2. Bullpen let him down today.
The bullpen sucked today. And by the way, that hasn't been a nothing thing because you wonder why I said pitching is something that they have to get into. I think this proves it.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, you had Ron Hell to start the game. Look, that's what you're trying to do with your fifth starter. Now, he started, they do
Ron
an opener.
Hell went 4 innings today.
He went 4.
What the hell is that?
That's probably all you're going to get out of it.
Why?
Right?
But that's the whole point. And then you bring in Mesa. He gives up a run. Alvarado gives up 2 runs. Everybody else and their brother, Trevino, who hadn't given up a run in his last 12 appearances up in Lehigh, comes in and gives up runs. Yeah, it's giveaway day at the ballpark. Here, runs.
I'll tell you what, though. I know you're frustrated with the bullpen, as you should be, and the pitching, as you should be. Also interesting, though, that the Phillies last night light up Paul Skeens, and they can only muster a run today.
Yeah, but what happened after? Oh, they shouldn't even. They should have the Pirates should have had a double play.
And they probably don't even have a run at all.
Yeah. A ground ball to third. And the guy hits Alec Boehm, although I think Alec Boehm may have been well out of the baseline. But it worked for the Phillies.
Wait, you talking about last night or today?
Last night.
You're talking about last night. I'm talking about today they only get a run. Yeah, last night I'm down at the ballpark, brought the kids for the fireworks. I'm expecting, all right, even though it's hot, it'll be a quick game. It's Paul Skeens versus Zach Wheeler. Going to be a nice quick one.
Do you remember what we were talking about yesterday? Every time you expect something at a baseball game, it goes completely opposite.
Ridiculous.
Always.
Ridiculous.
And let it be known that you asked me yesterday about the United States game.
Here we go.
Oh, no, I'm not letting this go.
You predicted a 2-0 win.
I said U.S. wins 2-0. For those of you who listened to Bostradamus, you're happy today.
I want to talk more Jaylen Brown in a second, but I do have to say, last night was pretty cool, even though it was hot as hell.
Yeah.
At the ballpark, a lot of people in the crowd have their phones and they're watching USA.
Yeah.
And every time they would score, we would go nuts, and everyone's chanting, USA, USA. And then after the Phillies game ends, as we're waiting for the fireworks.
Did they put it up?
They put up the second goal, and then they put up the final score, and Citizens Bank Park went nuts.
Oh, because they can't put it up, can they?
Well, it was over. The game was over because the Phillies game took so long.
I was kind of flipping back and forth. I thought the Phillies had it in the bag early on.
Yeah, and then they started to make a comeback, but then Bomer's 2-run home run in the 8th. But it was awesome.
Hit a homer, Bomer.
There you go. But they put it up on the screen. Everyone's chanting USA, USA, and then that led into the 4th of July fireworks. It was pretty cool. I mean, it really was a pretty cool thing they did down there.
It's a good time for that. I mean, when you think about it, everybody's got, America on the brain because of the week that's coming up and the weekend that's coming up, and all of a sudden, Phils win, USA wins. Fireworks. How perfect is that?
It was pretty
Kids
good.
Must have loved it, right?
Kids loved it. And then Joan Duran, the Durantula, you got his entrance.
Oh, so you had your kids got the whole scenery, everything that could happen.
Whole experience. Like, you probably can't live up to that again.
You got the scenic. You got the whole scenic.
Home runs, the Durantula, fireworks, everything. But as we were leaving, and then we'll get back to Jaylen Brown, my daughter and my son.
You're leaving one thing out.
Loved the Joan Duran thing.
Was Livy there?
I didn't see her. But my kids, as we're leaving, they loved the Durantula. And there's like, why do they do that? And I'm trying to explain because he's the closer and he's the guy that comes out to close out the game. And I said, in fact, Daddy's co-host, Ricky Bo, used to be the Durantula. He used to be the closer. And my daughter's like, really? He used to be the guy that came out to finish the game? I go, yeah, that was Ricky Bo's job. She thought it was the coolest thing ever. So now she, can't wait to meet you. I'm like, oh, yeah, you'll meet Ricky.
Oh, now she wants to meet me.
Yeah, before that, she was like, who's that idiot who's your co-host? No, it's a pretty cool night last night. So that was awesome. We'll talk some Phillies a little bit later. Let's get back to the Jaylen Brown trade, though, because we're excited about it, but we're also kind of asking, why would the Celtics do this? Because I was just looking at the ESPN grades for the trade, and they gave the Celtics a D-, and they give the Sixers an A. Let me get it the exact one. A D+, excuse me. A D+ for the Celtics and A- for the Sixers. It's like, why would the Celtics do it? Why would they do it? Now, a couple of things. Before we hear from Tony Jones and Chris Mannix of Sports Illustrated, there are the analytics out there that would tell you Jaylen Brown wasn't as good of a player as your eyes would tell you, right? As the results would tell you. When you look at the analytics, there's a lot of things you could look at that the Celtics were better with him off the court, and then his shot profile isn't very good. I'm trusting my eyes. The guy's a stud. The guy's an NBA Finals MVP. He's one of the top 10 to 15 players in the league easily. Finished number 6 in MVP voting last year. And Tony Jones of The Athletic was on this morning talking about their asking price, the Celtics, and how good he thinks Jaylen Brown is. Listen to Tony Jones, who's the beat reporter for The Athletic for the Sixers. Listen to this.
I was the only writer in the NBA with a vote who voted Jaylen Brown second in the MVP race. That's where I voted him last year. And I also voted him first team All-NBA. I thought he was that good. I thought he was the work that he did in terms of taking Boston to the second seed in the Eastern Conference, career highs all across the board, 28 points, 7 rebounds, essentially 5 assists a game. So it's interesting for me that the negative backlash that he's received, I think some of it is warranted. I don't think you can go on Twitch and just start criticizing people publicly the way he did. I thought that his comments of this being the best season that he's at, or his favorite season, I could see how it could have been off-putting to a bunch of people. But apparently, I mean, when you make a trade like Brad Stevens just made, which is you take a star in his prime who pretty obviously one of the top 10 players in the league during the season, and you make I got to get you out of my building trade, it does kind of raise some eyebrows. But, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're the Sixers. If you can get a Jaylen Brown and get off of Paul George's contract and at the same time, and you can upgrade the talent level, you have to take that chance and you have to make the trade. And that's what the Sixers were able to do.
So really good stuff in there from Tony Jones. I mean, first of all, he voted for Jaylen Brown as the MVP.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's how good of a season that the guy had, and that's how good of a player he is. But he's right. Like, I am focused on, well, why would the Celtics do it? Why would the Celtics do it? And I'm sure they had their reasons off the court. But if you're the Sixers, you really don't even care about any of that.
Well, you shouldn't. Why would you care if you're the Sixers? You just got a top-notch player that has come up big in big games in the NBA playoffs. What are you complaining about? I could care less about his attitude right now because he's also coming in with other guys that are stars. Maxey, Embiid. You know what? And you have to adapt one way or the other. You could be number 1, but you still have to adapt. You could be the number 2, number 3 guy. You still have to adapt on a team. I think Jaylen Brown coming in here adds reputation to this team. Adds a little extra twist that they could be good in the playoffs, too.
But it is interesting when you talk about he's joining a team with other stars, because one of the big problems I think he had was that Jason Tatum was considered the bigger star there. How does he handle coming here with other stars?
Who in your eyes is the bigger star here right now?
I think Jaylen Brown's the best player on the Sixers.
That's not what I asked you.
Yeah, so I'm not saying he's...
Who is the star on the Philadelphia 76ers today?
I think you have 3, possibly 4 of them. I'm telling you, I think Jaylen Brown is the best player on the Sixers right now.
Who's 1, 2?
I'll put Jaylen Brown at number 1 right
and
now.
2?
Tyrese Maxey.
Okay.
And then Joel Embiid, when healthy, is clearly better.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
But he's not ever healthy.
He's like, he gets the incomplete.
But the thing for me is, even if we can debate that Jaylen Brown is the best player on the Sixers right now, he still has to come here, and it's going to be up to Nick Nurse and the Sixers organization to help this team all kind of mesh together, because Jaylen Brown's not going to have the ball in his hands all the time. He's never necessarily played with a player like Maxey.
That would probably be the biggest problem. And I had a problem like that. I was a closer. I went over to St. Louis, and I'm told them that I get traded to St. Louis. They traded for me. And they told me I wasn't going to close. What the hell is this? You think I was happy?
They wanted you to set up?
Yeah.
And you weren't happy about it?
No, was not thrilled about it at all.
So now Jaylen Brown. Now, the good thing is, though, Jaylen Brown, and we've talked about this a lot, he's got the chip on his shoulder now. The Celtics are not only trading me, who won them a championship 2 years ago, they're not only trading me to the Sixers, they're also trading me for Paul George, who's 37 years old, who just got, we didn't even talk about? Paul George was suspended this year for PEDs. or a banned substance, whatever it was. They never came out and said what the hell he took.
Oh, that's right.
Right? So
Never did.
You just
I
traded.
completely forgot about
We haven't talked about it yet in 2 hours. That's another factor in this. Why the hell are you trading for a guy who's that old, with 2 years remaining on his deal, was just suspended, who's never had playoff success, and you did it for the guy who's had arguably the most playoff success for you in the last decade?
They must have really wanted to get rid of Jaylen Brown.
All right, well, let's hear because I think you're right. And here was Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated on why he feels the Celtics traded him, that they were done with the Jaylen Brown experiment.
The Celtics were done with Jaylen Brown. They wanted to move Jaylen Brown. Ultimately, they did not care what the return was because this is not dollar for dollar value. It's not 75 cents on the dollar. This is at best 50 cents on the dollar. Paul George a couple of years ago was an all-star. He has been on a steep decline over the last 2 years. That's one of the worst contracts in the NBA. The first-round draft picks could be good, especially the one in 2031, but that is a long way off. So the Celtics just gave up a 29-year-old all-NBA superstar for a broken-down Paul George and a couple of first-round picks. They were going to end the Jaylen Brown era one way or the other. They didn't get Giannis. They couldn't get a star like Evan Mobley. And now they're going to have to watch Jaylen Brown 4 times a year playing for the 76ers. Wild trade for the Boston Celtics.
I think that's Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated. I think he's right. It just got to the point where Boston said, whatever we can get, we're going to get. I mean, look, to compare this to what's going on here in the city when Philadelphia traded a Brown, A.J. Brown. Now, A.J. Brown asked for a trade. Jaylen Brown, from what we were told, never asked for a trade. But it seemed like the writing was on the wall, that Howie Roseman was going to trade A.J. Brown no matter what. Now, they ultimately got the first and the third back. Some people will say that's not enough. Look what Jalen Waddle got. But it got to the point where the Philadelphia Eagles knew they had to trade A.J. Brown. That it was a great 4 years, but it had run its course. It feels like the Celtics were in a similar position. They had a nice decade with him. They got the championship with him, but it got to the point where it had run its course and they just had to get out.
And that happens. I mean, you talk about 10 years with one team. You don't think it gets a little old, maybe a little stale at times, maybe running of the mouth at times. And you said he's a big Twitch guy. Maybe he was saying the wrong things on Twitch to the wrong people, and it kind of got back to the Celtics, and they didn't like it. I mean, you had a good run with the guy. Maybe it is about dumping $60 million of salary.
It's possible.
Well, I mean, you say it's possible, but that's the only explanation that we have right now.
Here's the only thing I have an issue with the dumping $60 million of salary. It's like, but that's 3 years from now.
So what?
You haven't.
But you also have yourself assets coming in 2 years.
True, but the Celtics are a team that I would think view themselves as a competitor this year.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they saw themselves lose to a team that's never been out of the second round in 25 years.
You know what? Let's go to phones because we actually have a Celtics fan on the line.
Oh, this ought to be good.
We got Russell.
Is it Bill Russell?
From Ocean City, Maryland.
Bill Russell passed away.
Diehard Celtics fan who wants to talk about this trade. Russell, you're not too happy, are you, my man?
How we doing, guys? I'm very much not happy. You know, I've been listening to you guys. I love your all takes. As a Celtics perspective, I've been an avid Celtics fan for years, and it just disappoints me. It makes me upset. It makes me angry with the management of the organization and how they treated Jaylen Brown. I mean, Jaylen Brown was a cornerstone piece of our post-Paul Pierce era, and we just send him out. We just flame him. We just don't even talk to him. We just trade to Philly, our rival. So it has me very disappointed in how we did this approach to the Celtics and just where things are leading. And let me ask you guys a question. Why not Jason Tatum on the trade block? Why not Jason Tatum? I mean, he's been quiet throughout this whole thing. Does he want Jaylen Brown gone? Does he want everything just gone to not have him play by his side and just hold the ball all the time? So you got to look at this from multiple perspectives, and I view this as a perspective of Brad Stevens. The cat was out of the bag, okay? We don't see that. You can't put the rice back into the pudding, okay? It's all gone, okay?
The rice back in the pudding. I never heard that one. I heard the toothpaste back in the tube.
What the hell would the rice be in the pudding?
Rice pudding, baby. Rice pudding. I don't know why you put it back in the pudding. Anyway.
I never heard that either.
But to his point.
Boston, man.
To his point, though, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I feel like once this officially gets announced, which will be July 6th, I'd be shocked if we don't hear more starting to come out
that the relationship between Tatum and Brown, which we've already know was a little bit strained because Jaylen Brown didn't like being considered the Robin to the Jason Tatum Batman. But maybe there's more to it. Maybe Jason Tatum is behind the scenes telling the Celtics, look, I don't want to play with him. But again, to be fair, Ricky hates analytics. I'm not a big analytics guy either. But to be fair, if you look at basketball analytics, it will tell you that the Celtics were a better team with Jaylen Brown off the court. But when you actually watch the games with your own two eyes, and you watch what Jaylen Brown helped them do 2 years ago in winning a title, and he's the MVP, I don't care what the analytics tell you. Jaylen Brown was the reason you won the damn championship.
I agree with that. I agree with you. I'm not going to sit here and disagree with you. I mean, you know, what it really comes down to, for a Sixers fan, you don't care why he's gone. You just care that he is a 76er right now.
Very
for
true.
a Celtics fan, they got to be livid.
Well, I think it's very similar to A.J. Brown.
Well, like I said,
in New England, they don't care why he's not in Philly
but
anymore.
A.J., there were reasons. Everybody knew there were reasons.
Yeah. But in New England, they're not saying, oh, I wonder why A.J. was traded. They're like, man, we got a number one wide receiver.
True.
Right? So we're in the same boat. All right, here's what we're going to do, though, coming up next. First of all, our YouTube audience, we are switching over to NBC Sports Philadelphia. All right? So our YouTube stream will end. So if you're on YouTube and you're watching the show, just tell your smart speaker to play 97.5 The Fanatic, download the Fanatic app, or turn on your television. NBC Sports Philadelphia will be on television in the next segment, all right? And we're going to be joined next from our sister station in Boston. He hosts the Midday Show for 98.5 The Sports Hub in Boston. Mark Bertrand. He's on Zolock and Bertrand Midday Show. He's going to join us to give us the Boston perspective, because I want to hear from him. What are we missing here? What was going on behind the scenes? What type of player are the Sixers getting in Jaylen Brown? We'll get into all of it with the Boston perspective. Mark Bertrand, they call him Beetle, will be joining us next. Hopefully our YouTube audience will see you on the other side. NBC Sports Philadelphia will be joining us shortly. So keep it here, Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic.